Okay, yeah, so how many students in the class require special needs or differentiation?
Part of it depends on the lesson, but right now I have as many as 6 kids that require special supports. Some of them are ELL kids, some are SPED kids.
Mm-hmm. And are they pulled out during a certain...
Not during this lesson.
Okay.
They may be pulled out of other classrooms for other reasons, but
Okay.
they are a part of the mainstream classroom for math and social studies.
Okay. And then, yeah, what standards or units will we be covering over the next 12
Okay. This week we're going to be finishing up the unit that we started that you saw a piece of here, measurement.
Mm-hmm.
And data, and then we're going to swing into probably another 25 days worth of lessons, and the standards that we're going to get into. Well, first of all, we'll talk about word problems, 308,
Mm-hmm.
and then we're going to get into geometry, attributes of two-dimensional figures, problem solving with perimeter. So there's going to be a lot of area and perimeter standards in here.
Mm-hmm.
There will be 8 days of solving problems with perimeters, and then 5 days of perimeter and area data on line plots.
Okay.
And then we finish with problem solving with perimeter and area.
Okay.
So the bulk of the work after this week and up until Galileo testing is going to be area, perimeter, and word problems.
Okay. Okay. And then, what about for social studies?
For social studies, our curriculum is Democracy Studies Weekly, and every week is a different topic. Right now, we're talking about banking and
Okay.
related issues. We get into currency and trade and these kinds of things. And then there's a progression of units following that. Up until now, a lot of our work had been more historical in nature. We got a little bit into geography. We talked about world exploration and that kind of thing, and we progressed from that point to kind of late 1800s, early 1900s, and right now it's more of a today approach to the thing where we're talking about production, manufacturing, banking, and those kinds of things.
Okay. And so what do you want me to do the first week of my student teaching, which is next week? Do you think you want me to do more small group and individual work like how I did before?
Yeah, that, and a lot of it will look like what we did here just during this last 30-minute period in tutoring.
Okay.
Those 6 or so kids that I mentioned that
Mm-hmm.
need extra support, differentiation, we will probably work around this table right here. And typically what I do is I will model the lesson, and they may or may not be in the mainstream classroom. A couple of them have focus and attention issues, so
Mm-hmm.
if it looks like it's going to be beneficial to pull them back here is more of a self-contained environment, we'll do that. But typically I have all of the students together as I model the lesson and that content, and then following that we go into the problem set where they have the opportunity to work on the problems individually. But where the differentiation will be is you will kind of continue the modeling that I've started here, because these kids for the most part don't work too well independently,
Mm-hmm.
and they're going to need some supports and prompts. If manipulatives and that kind of thing are called for, the other kids probably won't need them, but we'll introduce some manipulatives and whatever else they need to scaffold that instruction for support.
Okay. And then just what expectations do you have for me during the next week?
Well, be aware of the students' needs. You know, as you're working with them, you know, ask probing questions to determine their knowledge of the content. If you see that they're not grasping it, as I mentioned, we can try manipulatives if it's appropriate, or scaffolding instruction. Maybe we simplify the language, for example.
Mm-hmm.
Those kinds of things. They're going to need to be walked through the problems solving a lot more deliberately The other kids work pretty well either with a partner or independently, but these kids are going to need quite a bit of support, and they benefit from that. You'll see that when they're together here as a small group, it's easier to keep them all on the same page and focus, so it'll work.
Yeah. Okay. And then I just wanted to go over with you there's 10 standards with my program, and each week I'll be working on one of them, and that will go along with the video that I record.
Okay.
So I didn't print them all out, but here's the first standard. And you were you given access to the Teach Now platform? Have you been given?
No, I know that they had a piece, I think the last one was over the weekend. They had encouraged the teachers to dial in and be a part of a video process where they were explaining, and I didn't get a chance to do that.
Okay. Well, I'll find out from my instructor because all this information will be on the platform.
This information?
Yes, you'll be able to view that. There is a video that you can watch as well that will explain, what's expected from you, and the evaluation process of me and how you're going to evaluate me weekly, and you do it on the platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right, good to know. I'll dial into that platform.
Yeah, so for next week, I'll pretty much just be doing observation, group work, small work, and then probably by week 2, I'm gonna want to try to either co-teach with you or do a small mini lesson.
Okay.
And next week we can talk about that more and figure out which lesson would be.
Yeah.
Perfect.
We can do it either way. We can either co-teach, or I can give you the lesson content ahead of time, and if you feel comfortable modeling that for the students, we can do that too. So either way will work for me.
Okay. Perfect. Then yeah, I think that's about it.
Okay.